Hello there. Today we will talk about a terse definition related to the relative clause in English. What is relative clause? Relative clause helps define or give us extra and additional information about things or people we are talking about. Furthermore, relative clause starts with relative pronouns who, which, that, whose, whom, or relative adverbs where, when, why. Here is a list of the relative pronouns, adverbs, and meaning. That refers to people, animals, or things. Note, it can be replaced by which or who in the informal way. Whose refers to possession. Whom refers to people, used instead of who if who is the object. Where refers to places. When refers to time. Why refers to reasons. Pattern. Here are two patterns and examples by utilizing the relative clause. Relative clause patterns. Pattern 1. Relative pattern, relative pronoun and adverb plus subject plus verb. Example number 1. The present which he gave me was just amazing. Example number 2. That memorable moment was the time when she kissed me for the first time. Example number 3. Marcella sent me a job offer that I couldn't decline. Pattern 2. Relative pronoun as subject plus verb. Example number 1. The girl who is standing next to John is my younger sister. Example number 2. Venus flytraps is a plant which traps insects. Brilliant! Now we have explained the relative clause patterns. We will talk about the two types of relative clause, defining and non-defining relative clause. Let's begin. Defining relative clauses. Defining relative clauses add detail about a particular noun that is defined. They give essential information about the people, things being referred to. Without defining relative clause, the meanings would not remain the same. Examples. Example number 1. Venus flytrap is a plant which traps insects. Example number 2. This was the evidence which greatly affected the case. Example number 3. I am going to show you a video which was made by the most famous American film director. Note, the pronouns who, which can be replaced by that in spoken language. We don't use a comma in defining relative clauses. Examples. Example number 1. Venus flytrap is a plant which traps insects. Good. The second example, Venus flytrap is a plant, which traps insects. Wrong. Example number 2. This is the data that greatly affected the case. Good. Example number 2. This is the data, that greatly affected the case. Wrong. Non-defining relatives clauses. What are non-defining relative clauses? Non-defining relative clauses give extra or non-essential information about people or things. It does not affect the meanings of the whole sentence. Without defining relative clauses, the meanings would remain the same. Examples. Example number 1. Mr. David, who is an aspiring teacher, won the Global Teacher Prize 2019. Example number 2. I have recently came back from England, which is a beautiful country. Example number 3. My 2 puppies, which were only 6 days old, are taken care of very carefully. Note, we don't use that for non-defining relative clause. We always use a comma in non-defining relative clause. Example number 1. Mr. David, comma, who is an aspiring teacher, comma, won the Global Prize 2019. Good. Second example. Mr. David, that is an aspiring teacher who won the Global Teacher Prize 2019. Wrong. Example number 2. I have recently
come back
from England, comma, which is a beautiful country. Good. Example number 2. I have recently
come back
from England, which is a very beautiful country. Wrong. Brilliant. We have learned the first about the relative clause in English. We emblazon you for learning this knowledge. Utilize it in your daily English conversations and studies. Contribute the video with others. Thanks for watching.